What we're going to be doing in this video is using regex and bubble to parse a string at a high level. That is what we're going to be doing. I was unable to find any real specific data or tutorials for how to do this, so we decided to create one. All the tools we need are in Bubble to do this. However, we are going to use a website known as regexercom. That will be in the description, the URL, to help us with the regex syntax, which is probably the most complex part of all of this. Regex is extremely powerful. It's very common in the world of coding. It is basically used to identify patterns and at a high level. So what we're going to do first is we're going to use an actual string of data that is returned from an API response. This particular set of data here has been returned from a PayPal API call, and as you can see, there's a lot of valuable information here depending on what you're trying to do, but this is not in a really readable format to a human. So what we're going to do is what I want to do is identify the email address, which I've just highlighted here for you. So this email address is what we want to extract from all of this. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to use a real life example to accomplish that. What you're looking at now is Bubble itself. It's a basic page that we put together for the purposes of this video. So the very first thing you want to do is identify your parameter. Well, I've done that. We're not going to cover how to make API calls. We're not going to cover how to set up databases or how to set up Bubble workflow actions beyond what we need to do to accomplish our objective, which is to learn how to parse specific parameters from strings or API responses using regex. So step one is essentially that we have identified the string and the parameter that we'd like to extract. We're going to use this site. The site's called regexercom. You should be able to see that now. Okay, and what this site is going to allow us to do is basically figure out what the exact syntax is for regex that we will need in order to capture the parameter. All right, so what I've done here is at regexer.com, I have another tab. The tab's already open. I've already populated this information. I essentially took all of the data that was contained here in this field and I pasted it here. Okay, and as you can see, the email parameter has already been highlighted for us, just like it was done in Bubble. Okay. The way that happened is the expression itself that's going to be using regex was populated here in this field. Okay, and by populating that information, this website actually identified what the end result would be if I were to use this syntax in Bubble or anywhere, any application where I was using regex. But in this particular case, we're talking about Bubble. As long as this particular syntax is used, this is the data that will be captured, which is what we want. We want the email address. Okay, so here's the email parameter. This is the email address. And that's what we want. Now, what you're going to notice is that some of this data looks rather odd. There's a lot of percent signs followed by numbers. Like here we have %2e, here we have 40. That is not actually data that is going to be usable for our purposes, but what we will do is first focus on extracting the data using regex, and then later, once we've extracted the data, we will massage it, we'll clean it up, and I'll show you how to replace these percentages or these symbols with the actual characters that need to be there. We'll talk a little bit about that later on. It's called percent encoding, also known as URL encoding. That's why you don't see an @ symbol, for example, instead of a %40. You should really see an @ symbol as far as what's desired in the end result. Okay, so the way, there really isn't any one way to determine to code this. You know, if you're a beginner with regex, you may struggle to figure out how to actually capture the right, how to create the right syntax to capture the information that you want to capture. It did take a bunch of reading and research and trial and error. That's the way that we accomplished our goal. And what I'm going to do is I'm just basically going to write out what we did and why we did it to give you a better idea of how we came to the conclusion that we did. And as I'm typing, this website will actually highlight what information would actually be captured based on the syntax that's typed. So I'm going to delete this. Okay. So now there's nothing here. These are default characters that can't be removed. The only thing we have here now is our actual API response. On this page, what you'll find is, and I'm just taking us back, this left column here, this is the default view for this left column. I drilled down earlier into some other areas. That's why I had to get back to the default view, but have no fear, when you land here you should have this default view. The cheat sheet is essentially what we used to figure out what the proper syntax for this area actually was. Again, there's no one solution that I can give you that's going to tell you how to what the syntax should be for your use case. It comes down to what you need to capture, identifying that first. In our case, we want to pull the first email address out of this syntax. Out of this string. Your needs may be different. But the very first thing that we did was, because email is a part of this query, this response, this string of data that you see on the screen, email is a hard-coded static value. It's always going to be in this particular string. So we can type that out because we know it's going to be there every time. We can also add the equal sign because we know that it's the word email will be followed by an equal sign every time. And following that equal sign will be the value. Before we move past the equal sign, we also know, and as you can see, as I've typed it, it is now highlighted down here in this area. Okay, so that's a good start. We can also, now what we don't know, what we don't have an idea on for syntax is the actual value of the email parameter. That's going to be different every time. It could be different every time. So there's no way to know what it will be in the future. So we need a regex expression that will be able to dynamically look at this email parameter each time and extract the information or identify the information that follows email equals every single time. Again, through trial and error, what we learned was, if you look over here in the cheat sheet section, the capture group is basically it's a way to tell regex, hey, everything that's in these parens, I want you to capture. So we're going to create a capture group. Now, if you notice, we still don't have any changes here at the moment, because we haven't added enough syntax to make that the case. The period, I'm not going to get into what each one of these does, but every character that I'm going to use is identified in this cheat sheet, and it has an explanation associated with it. But for the sake of keeping this video quick so that you have information that you can take action on, we're only going to focus on getting the syntax written. Okay, the plus symbol was also a symbol that we determined that we needed. Now, you'll notice that after I typed in the plus symbol, basically, essentially everything else after the email parameter was selected. Well, we really don't want that. We really only want the items that trail the email parameter, and we want this to stop when we get to the next parameter, which appears to be payer ID. All we want is the email. So the .com is the last part of the email, followed by the and symbol. So we're going to drop a question mark in here. The question mark also serves a specific purpose. Okay, I am not going to spend a lot of time on that. The definition, as stated before, every one of the characters is outlined in the cheat sheet, and there's a definition for everything that's done here, every symbol that's used. One of the more important things that is currently not referenced so far at this point is the ampersand. Okay, and the ampersand it precedes the email parameter, and it also is used as a separator for every one of the parameter values on this page. So since that's something that we always know is going to be shown, we're going to add that outside of the parentheses. Okay, and if you notice, the minute that I did that, everything from email equals up into the next parameter, separated by the ampersand, is now highlighted. So technically at this point we could stop, because we now know, just like that, we've told regex, we have a pattern for regex that says, I want you to capture everything after the email address equals symbol, all the way up to the following ampersand symbol or character. And that's exactly what regex has done for us. Now, what I like to do is, just to be sure that I am not capturing any unwanted information, I like to have the ampersands before and after the information that I'm looking for, that I want to capture. And what that does is, since I know that this string is delineated by using the ampersand symbol or the and symbol, I'm going to make sure that I delineate as well with an ampersand symbol or an and symbol by placing it both before and after the information that I like to catch. It's not something that you have to do. It's something that I choose to do. I think it's a best practice because it gives me a guarantee that all of this information is being captured does fall into a space where a parameter is supposed to go, because it's been separated or delineated by the and symbol. Okay, so just like that, you now have syntax for regex, And what we're going to do next is take this syntax, we're going to take it into Bubble, and we're going to use Bubble to test that this works properly. And after that, then we will, as stated earlier, we will go through the data that's actually captured and encode it, and we'll decode it so that all of the coding with the percentages followed by numbers is converted into the proper characters that are available for our human consumption.